Episode 12. Queen Monica. After that, Dario pushed her out of the car. She was unable to defend herself as he pushed her out forcefully. Jade stumbled and stood there blankly with the bag in her hand. Just as she was about to curse him, the luxurious car pulled away, leaving her behind in a cloud of black smoke. She stared at his license plate with 1,000 questions written on her face. That man was simply unreasonable. He had pulled her into the car and then pushed her out for no reason. What was he trying to do? Jade sighed helplessly and shook her head. Forget it. Why am I even thinking about him? She stood there dazed for a moment. She would never see him again, she thought. She looked at the few remaining $10 bills in her bag and sighed helplessly, thinking that she'd been slapped for nothing. After a while, she walked to the nearest bus stop. She intended to visit her grandmother and then return to her home, Winslet Mansion. Meanwhile, Lucas and Dario talked inside the car. Mr. Foster, where are we heading now? It seems like you've forgotten something. Lucas gave Dario this reminder because he saw that he was spacing out. Dario refocused his gaze and remembered that he had come to the filming area to visit a friend. It was just that he lost track of time when he saw that woman just now. Let's go back, Dario said casually. Okay? Lucas felt like laughing when he thought about the director's expression just now. Now that he was going back to the set of the TV series, he wondered what the crew's reaction would be. However, his smiling face suddenly darkened again. Lucas did not know how to put it in words, but he couldn't leave it unsaid. He felt that Dario had already fallen in love with that woman. Mr. Foster? What is it? Dario closed his eyes quietly and slowly unbuttoned his shirt. Then he put on his tailored black suit. He still looked as valiant and respectable as always. No one would know about the wounds that suit was hiding. Go ahead, Dario said with his head down. Are you still going to search for the person you were looking for 5 years ago? Even with his eyes closed, Dario's face twitched slightly. However, his expression remained emotionless. He pursed his lips and said nothing. After a moment, he opened his mouth as if to speak, but in the end, he just closed it again. Lucas knew better than to ask anything else. He drove to the filming area without saying another word. As soon as they stepped onto the set, they saw a familiar face. As Dario approached, David immediately noticed the wound on his lips. He rushed up to Dario like a curious child, carefully observing him as if he had discovered a treasure. Though Dario glanced at him condescendingly, David only stopped once he heard Dario's ice-cold voice. Have you seen enough? Wow, Mr. Foster, is that real? Who had the guts to bite you on the lips? Did you have an affair? Tell me, who's the wild kitty? That's exciting. Could it be the one from last night? Dario met David's excitement with his typical indifference. Lucas stood behind Dario with a stony face to match his boss's expression. Even with the wound on his lips, Dario still kept a poker face. Are you here for Monica too? Dario asked casually. Of course, she is my goddess. David's eyes sparkled like thousands of stars blinking in the sky. Your goddess, huh? What is this? Your 10th? Dario's tone was merciless. While they were talking, Lucas wandered around the filming area and assessed the situation. He then walked to Dario's side quietly and whispered, Miss Monica is already here. She's currently filming, but she'll be done soon. Monica was one of the top actresses, both well-known and beautiful. She was making a cameo in this TV series to increase its popularity. A cameo from her was enough to make any TV series popular. Due to her busy schedule, she could only film the cameo today. Fortunately, it was only a short scene and would soon be over. Though Queen Monica had a cold personality, she was the goddess of many men. There was always news about her in the media, but no one knew that she was a good friend of the famous Mr. Foster. Besides, she behaved differently in front of Dario. Hey, my little Dari, I've missed you so much. Come to sister. Oh my, you've become even more handsome. A familiar childlike voice rang past his ears. Even Dario's expressionless face twitched a little when he heard Monica's voice. At that instant, jealousy filled David's eyes. His eyes flashed with indignation and anger, much like lightning on a pitch-black night. Why didn't she call him that? Hey, Monica, do you still remember me? David pushed Dario away. and excitedly rushed in front of Monica, striking what he thought was a cool pose. David was handsome indeed, and he was also from a rich family. Countless women wanted to be in a relationship with him, but Monica was the only exception. There was only one Dario in her eyes. David had never gotten any of her attention, much to his frustration. Monica merely gave the guy in front of him a disdainful glance. "Oh, it's David." Her attitude was cold, but when she turned to Dario, her expression changed immediately. The smile on her face grew as if she had a dual personality. This woman with many faces terrified David. When Dario looked at the domineering yet beautiful woman with sunglasses before him, his cold gaze eventually became gentle. "Miss Monica is getting prettier too. Look at these legs. Look at this waist. You must be the most beautiful woman there is." David praised her without hesitation, but Monica didn't even spare him a glance.